most doctors will tell you neuropathy is forever, but Dr. Maggie isn't most doctors.
Well, conventional medicine and conventional docs are going to tell you that neuropathy is forever. And if that's the case, honestly, I'd be dead. So me and the people I work with say bye, Felicia, to neuropathy. All right, Jessica, let's bring you up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica. I'm a wife, an aspiring birth mother, and I'm an RN by trade. And before the program, I had PCOS, which I didn't know was autoimmune related. Other than that, I didn't have a diagnosis. I just had a lot of mystery symptoms. I had pain that would come and go. One led me to the ER, and they told me they couldn't find anything. One time it was going down my arm, and I had to be like one-handed. But overall, I also had persisting pain in my feet. And so it would be hard to even just stand or exercise or just walk. And I knew in my mind what I needed to do health-wise, like you gotta eat home-cooked meals, but I couldn't even do that because I couldn't really move around.
Didn't you almost did you quit your job or did you lose your job?
Yeah, I had to quit my job. I said, there's no way I could function this way. So I was without work for a while. And then my household relied on my source of income. So for a time, we had to move back in with my parents. And that's not something you expect to do. At that time, I was kind of newly married. So it's just not the way you think life turns out when you get married.
Well, newly married, a nurse, main source of income, and then you didn't have a straight autoimmune diagnosis, and yet you had severe neuropathy in your feet. So I'm curious, and if anybody's interested in watching Jessica's interview with her husband, type in chat Jessica's interview, and our team would definitely hook you up with that. So my question for you is, what was the one big thing you found out in the program that was like bombshell truth?
It was the food mapping and the lab testing for the micronutrients. Really
Well, but even before that, you found out you had polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS.
Yeah.
That was huge for you. And as an RN, let's talk about PCOS first for a second. Do you get any training about hormones or polycystic ovarian syndrome or autoimmunity through all your training as an RN and as a practicing RN who teaches other RNs?
No, not to the extent that I learned in this program.
Okay. And I think for me, really big for this audience is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And a lot of these hormone patterns are autoimmune related. And just to give you guys a fact, remember people say polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, is a precursor to diabetes. Okay. And diabetes is an autoimmune disease, everybody. So if diabetes is an autoimmune disease, how many people with PCOS don't even realize that they have likely an autoimmune disease or an autoimmune disease precursor? Truth bomb. Okay. So she actually did have an autoimmune issue going on with her PCOS. You said lab work was a major linchpin. And again, I'm just going to preface this by saying that conventional medicine doctors have zero training on what key vitamins are actually important for autoimmunity. Number two, what causes those deficiencies. Number three, how do you even test for them accurately? How do you understand what we call functional values? I would love, because we're talking neuropathy here, I would love to use B12 as an example. How many of you out there in the audience have been told your B12 was normal when you begged for it to be tested? We begged for a B12 test because we're like, oh, neuropathy, B12 has something to do with it. Tested, normal. What did you learn that's a truth bomb in the program about B12?
And my B12 was low. There's an optimal range, and mine was not optimal. And having low B12 was contributing to my neuropathy, was contributing to overall fatigue, and also the kind of B12. Really important. And before that, I was taking B12, but it wasn't making a difference because
it was the shitty kind.
Yeah.
It was the shitty kind. And I even have people saying, I was getting B12 injections at my doctor's, the shitty kind. The shitty kind. But something very important about B12 is that the actual lab value itself can have tons of false positive. And we learn about this in the program, which means that it can look normal or high, right? But that's not actually the real value. And so we've taught about other lab tests that you can add that are what we call truth tellers, that actually tell you inside your cell over a 3-month time frame what is really the B12 status inside your cell. And that to me is such an important piece of training, but yet I never learned it in medical school. You never learned it in RN school. And none of these ladies' doctors learned it in school either. So I actually love looking, and I'll give you guys a hint. The truth teller is a number we call MCV. And I actually go in the program and I train people exactly why is that? Why is that a truth teller? Why is there a false positive in the B12? And what do you look at in these other labs that really gives you the real answer? Because the truth is, Jessica had severe B12 deficiency. She's a medical provider and she was taking B12 that was shitty and also being told that her B12 was normal. All of it was wrong, right? And the impact of that lab work, was within a couple weeks. How long did you deal with your neuropathy?
Well, I was moving back to work, I think within 2 or 3 months.
Back to work within 2 months, 3 months after starting the program.
Wow.
I know, all right, Anne? I mean, it's mind blowing.
Well, it is. And I'm just so curious to hear what this did for your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would just be like in a black hole without this program. And this really gave me a lot of hope that I could get my life back. Before the program, my marriage was getting really hard. We couldn't find any support, any answers, and we were just at a loss. So it was really frustrating to feel, stuck, and especially for me, thinking that I should know something because I come from a medical background and not having any clue where to go. And so when I found this program to join, it was just like a light. It was just like, okay, there's something that can turn things around.
Right. And then I do want to, because I saw some questions coming in from YouTube about supplementation. People want to know, are there any supplementation that was helpful for you specifically for neuropathy?
Definitely the promethyl B12 necessary. SPM Max was helpful also. The essentials.
Let's pause for a second. Let's talk about promethyl B12 first, okay? People think I'm just going to take B12, and you and I already know 99% of the B12 in the market is shitty. It's not even the right kind of B12 that works. So you got to get really a good quality methylated B12, number one. Number two is it's got to be under your tongue, bypassing that low stomach acid, okay? So our promethyl B12 is under the tongue. And then the other thing is, do you guys know, and I've taught about this, people who are low in B12 are actually really low in other methylated B vitamins, including folate. So a lot of people are talking about, I have MTHFR, this and that. I'm like, I know. So our promethyl B12 not only has methylated B12, but methylated folate, which is very expensive to put under the tongue, but that it bypasses the stomach acid. So 100% of it is absorbed and utilized. So what is the best thing for neuropathy? A sublingual promethyl B12 that includes all these ingredients right under the tongue every single day. So I don't want to gloss over B12 and the importance of it, Jessica. I really want to give it the due that it's due.
Now these days, I'm much more active. We go rock climbing. I'm dancing around now. So yesterday, I went on a 1.5-mile dog walk.
Say what?
So your dogs are benefiting as well from this. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even need to take it regularly these days. It's like the pain is essentially gone, and I don't. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think it's really important for people to understand that I hate polypharmacy of medication, just like I hate polypharmacy of supplements. A lot of people claim they have programs for autoimmune disease. What they are is a subscription service for their supplements for life. So you guys know this, and Jessica is a perfect case example. I want to teach you everything it takes for you to learn what's causing it, fix that problem, so you don't need all those supplements. If anybody's interested in learning more about this, we're going to put a link in chat to start a chat with our team. If you've commented at all and you're interested in learning more, please go check your message with us, because it'd be great for you to learn more about us, see more case studies, more trainings. And we'd love to talk to you and get to know your case better to see if we can help and if it's a good fit for us to work together.